Welcome back. If you remember, we do have a new segment where you hear from professionals answering your questions regarding family law. Kathleen Egan is back. This segment is sponsored by Bundy Law Office. Now, Kathleen, today you're going to walk us through ways that your office can assist your clients after a decree. Is that right?
That is right, yes.
Okay. What does that mean after a decree is made?
So, once the parties go through their entire litigation and ultimately the final thing that we get is a divorce decree that kind of ends their case. So divorces are obviously highly emotionally charged and they can often take longer than most people anticipate. So by the time they get that decree, they're really ready for it to be over with, but it typically isn't. There's more we need to do. So.
Okay, yeah, that was my next question is, it's not necessarily over once the judge rules either way. There's still some more that needs to be done. Walk us through what that looks like.
Yeah, so usually there's property that needs to be divided, whether it's retirement accounts or real property. There's, distributions that need to be made in terms of money. There's also just the practical impact of some of the provisions that are in the decree. So no matter how many times a person may have reviewed a certain provision, until it comes time to actually have to use that, sometimes it can be difficult to understand. So.
Sure, absolutely. I know in a previous segment you talked about things to look for when you're looking for a family attorney. And one thing you said, like during that consultation, is really talking with your attorney on kind of what you're hoping to get out of that. You talked about property and some things to divide up maybe between the families. Is that something that people should let you know on the front end, kind of what's at stake, once the divorce is finalized?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something you want to talk about in your initial consultation, is just kind of what the marital estate looks like.
Okay, yeah. So the divorce decree is made, and then families still contact you, and then there's still some work to be done. How long is that process, would you say?
Well, I mean, the hope is that it'll be relatively quickly, but it can sometimes take longer than that. So, one of the other ways that we try to assist our clients after a divorce has been entered is in estate planning. So that's often an overlooked aspect of things that people might need to do after their divorce has been granted.
Okay. For people who may not be familiar, what is estate planning?
Yeah, so it's just wills, trusts, and estates, how our estate is going to be divided after we've passed. And so now that the family dynamic has kind of changed following a divorce, it's important to make sure that you get that taken care of.
Sure, absolutely. I can imagine maybe clients have so many things going on, and so it's great to kind of walk hand in hand with a law office, because you guys are going to take care of a lot of those things that maybe people are maybe miss because they just don't know. There's a lot of emotion, as you said, that goes on into a divorce.
Yeah, there can be a lot that's overlooked. I mean, even something as simple as getting your spouse's name off of airline miles or bank accounts, credit cards, things of that nature. So.
Sure. Is there a checklist, maybe, Kathleen, that people should have or think about as they're going through this process? We talked about estate planning. Maybe there's property, maybe, changing your last name. Is there a checklist that people should have when they're going through this process?
Well, certainly those things would be on the checklist, and then even just, providing clients with resources. I mean, we're certainly able to do that. So, yeah.
Anything else that families need to know about what happens after a decree is made?
I would just tell them that it doesn't necessarily mean the end of the litigation, and that oftentimes, we have to come in, things change in families, people move, people change jobs, so it doesn't necessarily mean the end of the litigation.
Sure, absolutely. And as we've been doing these segments, we've just been learning how Bundy Law Office is really walking hand in hand with the clients through every piece of the process. As you can imagine, this can be something that's very difficult to go through, and so it seems like the office is there every step of the way to make sure that people don't feel alone through this process.
Yeah, we absolutely try to. It's definitely a difficult time, and we try to be there for our clients as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. As people are watching and they say, you know what, would love to talk to Kathleen or maybe even Aaron or someone else at Bundy Law Office, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so they can check out our website. They can email us at info@bundy.law. They can also give us a call at the office. Our number is 479-579-2121.
Okay. Kathleen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank
Good to see you again. And don't forget, we are doing these segments every week on Tuesdays, answering your questions regarding family law.